Dripping wet, I stood there. My heart was racing as my toes slowly curled over the edge. 3 feet of nothingness beneath me. And I was meant to jump into that? You see, I was a little girl of about 8 years old, trying to convince myself to jump off the end of the diving board. Everything in my life had been a breeze till then. My food was made for me, my clothes washed and ironed for me. I slept in a lovely bed. In short, I lived in a land where everything in my life was being taken care of, and I did not have to worry about a thing. Okay, I did flip out about not getting the colour gum I wanted out of the gumball machine every now and then, but I would usually forget all about it half an hour later. I didn't even have to think about studying or working or responsibilities or even trying to solve worldwide problems like, say, global warming. Nah, I was 8, and life had been simple, right up to that moment. But now what? My little 8-year-old mind was racing. What if I trip? What if I fall? What if I run, jump off, trip over my toe, fall head first, see a shark, scream, hit the water screaming? What on earth was going to happen if I jumped? I had no idea, and no way to find out. This, ladies and gentlemen, had been the biggest challenge in my life so far, a tiny moment, an instant in time, and yet so vividly engraved into my memory. Did I decide to go for it? Or did I play it safe and just walk back down the diving board to slide into the swimming pool from the side? What was the right decision? Should you try to control your life and try to foresee all that is to happen to prevent horrible things from happening to you? Because the world isn't always filled with daisies and roses. Quite often you can find yourself stumbling upon a thorn or just falling flat on your face. Or should you just dive in head first, not being able to anticipate what's going to happen, nor listening to your doubts, but trusting it'll all be all right? A hard decision, don't you think? And yet, aren't those moments when your feet aren't on the ground the best moments you can remember? The times you embark on something new, do something you have never done before, when you feel that rush, blood pumping through your veins, all your senses on red alert, that incredible, exhilarating feeling, mixed in with just a tiny hint of fear. See, I once heard this joke. Where can you find a dog with no legs? Exactly where you left it. And yet, if that dog had had legs, my God, it would run, skip, and jump so high, it might show Felix Baumgartner a thing or two. And yet, here we all sit, equipped with 2 fully functioning legs, ready to jump at any second, and unsure as to whether we should. Okay, it could all blow up in your face, but people forget that the path you tread does not define you, nor forbid you from ever going back. It's not because you chose at a crossroads that you can't ever go back and choose again. And I don't think anyone should let the world terrify them into submission. It can kick you in the gut and it can get you down, but you should never let it stop you from doing something you love or taking a few risks every now and then. Because without taking risks, you just end up stuck in the same place without ever moving forward. This had been the biggest challenge in my life when I was 8 years old. And I think that the reason why I've been so caught up in this problem recently is because, in a sense, I feel like I'm standing on that diving board again today, only now on a much higher level. Today, I stand on the brink of adulthood. Secondary school is coming to a close, and before me lie many new challenges. And how on earth am I meant to do this? I don't know. All I do know is that back then, when I was 8 years old, I closed my eyes and I jumped. Thank you very much for listening.
If we see a diving board, should we run and jump, or should we tread carefully and then jump?
I like that question, because if you run and jump off, you miss that incredible moment just before you jump. The moment when you're getting ready to jump and about to go for it. And so I don't think that you should just jump off without thinking. I think that you should be very aware when you are jumping that you can experience every moment of it.
Back when you were 8 years old,
Yeah?
how did you feel after you jumped?
After I jumped, I felt fabulous. I felt like I was on top of the world, like, I know, like I could do anything. And I must say, I did get back up there and I jumped straight back in.
Had you not taken up that first challenge, if you had not jumped into the pool, do you think that would have made you a different person? Would that have changed you?
I don't know. I think that if I know who I am, I think that I would have just done something else in my life. It might not have been a diving board, but it would have been something else, some other challenge which I would have accepted. That's what I think.
Why do we all fear failing so much? Because we logically know that there is nothing wrong with failing.
Why do we all fear failing? Well, it's never a nice feeling when you fail. Whenever you fail, you feel inadequate. You feel as if you are not good enough. And I just think that no one likes to experience that feeling. And so what we have to do is we have to tell people, come on, get back up, you can do this. Get back up on that diving board and try again.
What's your next diving board?
My next diving board is becoming an adult. And it's actually deciding who I want to become and what I want to be in my life.
At what age should we be presented with challenges with decisions? At what age are we responsible, mature enough to really decide on these matters?
You know, to be honest, I would start with a toddler. Toddlers are pretty great. They go for everything, they get their hands dirty, they try everything, and I think that if you start trying from such a young age, you won't develop this fear of trying when you get older.
Who influenced you to take that jump?
No one did, really. I just kind of crawled up on my own, and I just kind of thought to myself, I want to jump off that diving board. It wasn't really anyone who told me to get up there. I wanted to do it for me.
And a small follow-up question, why was it so important for you then?
That jump.
Yeah. At that moment, of course.
At that moment. Like, you know a little kid's mind, you know how they can exaggerate everything. Just like a tiny moment, how they can create this entire memory of this entire story. And I don't know why I did it, but right then, in that moment, when I stood there, it became a pivotal moment for me.
Going into adulthood, taking that dive, what is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is, I kind of have this dream that I want to realize, and it's something that I've decided I want to study that and I want to become that person, and my biggest fear is actually failing at that and then having to try and rediscover who I want to become after not being able to do what I want to do right now.
Do you have a plan B?
My plan B is I would love to study English and become an English teacher. That's my plan B. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much.